Let's look at how we can use the laws of logarithms to rewrite each of these expressions. So looking at our first one, we have a quotient or a fraction inside of our log. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to split this into two separate logs. Because it's a division, we're going to use subtraction. So this is equal to log, still base 10, of the numerator, x to the 13th, y to the 17th, minus now a separate log term of what was in the denominator, z to the 10th. When we look at that first term, x to the 13th is being multiplied times y to the 17th. So when we have a multiplication, we can split that to two separate logs that are being added together. So we have a log base 10 of x to the 13th plus a log base 10 of y to the 17th minus a log of z to the 10th. So what started as one single log expression is now three separate log expressions. Using our exponent rule, we can now take each of these exponents that is inside of a logarithm and write it out in front instead. So we can write this as a coefficient of 13. So 13 times the log of x plus 17 times the log of y minus 10 times the log of z. So what we've done is we've taken one single log that had an entire expression on the inside and simplified this to be three separate logs, where in each the argument or the stuff on the inside is as simple as possible. So in this case, just a single variable. In the homework, the way that they ask these questions is you essentially write out this, and then it asks you for the values of a, b, and c, or what would the coefficients be on each of these terms after we have simplified. So the way that we would answer this in the homework question then is to say that a is equal to 13, the coefficient that's in front of the log x term, b is equal to 17, the coefficient in front of the y, and c is equal to a negative 10, since we had the subtraction from our division as well as our 10. Now let's look at this second one. So we have log base 3 of x to the 10th times the cubed root of y to the 9th. So let's think about some rewriting that we can do with this cubed root of y to the 9th. A cubed root is the same thing as having a 1/3 power. So y to the 9th on the inside is really being raised to a 1/3 power when we have a cubed root. Anytime you have a power raised to another power, we're going to take those exponents and we are going to multiply them together. So in this case, 9 times 1/3 is just y to the 9/3, which is 3. So if that was still a fraction, we'd go ahead and just write that as a fraction. In this case, we can simplify that to the whole number of 3. So what we really have here is log base 3 of x to the 10th times, after we simplify, it's now just y to the 3rd. Because we have a multiplication inside of our log, we can split this to two separate logs that are being added together. So we have log base 3 of x to the 10th plus log base 3 of y cubed. And then using our exponent property, the exponent inside can move out in front as a coefficient. So we have 10 times log base 3 of x plus 3 times log base 3 of y. So this would be our expanded form of our original expression. In the way that the homework questions ask, this is telling us that our a is equal to 10, and here b would be equal to 3. But we're really just looking at how can we expand that. The a, b, and c is just a way to write that answer into the homework system.